So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the boot camp. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Ishani. I'm one of the directors at Ivy Professional School. One second. So I'm one of the directors over here at Ivy. And typically, I am the person who deals in advanced Excel, the visualization tools like Power BI, Tableau, and the automation of Excel, which is done through VBA. So that's my introduction. Uh, since the time is less in terms of, we have to cover certain topics and introduce to you Tableau software as well. So I'll jump right into Tableau. So my first question to you is, do you have Tableau installed? Does everyone has Tableau installed? Pankaj, yes. Devojyoti, yes. Tanuka, yes. So I got 3 yeses. Others, is your Tableau installed? Kaushik, Arunmoy, yes, all right. And Shushriti, Saurabh, because we are going to try and do some hands-on. So what I've already done is I was trying to work on this data set to see, okay, how will Tableau help me if I have to work with this data, right? And what you see is it's a very basic dashboard that we are creating. So when you guys got this particular, what do you call this, the data set of Mumbai housing price, what did you think of? Like, what came to your mind of, okay, if this is the data set, this is what I would like to analyze on top of it? Because as an analyst, our work is to be able to give some meaningful output of the data that we have. So I'm sure you have gone through this data set yesterday in your SQL bootcamp, and I'll go through it again. So we have something called ID. There are about 6,000 IDs which are present, and these are all unique IDs. Then for each ID, I've got the area specification. So this is, think about it as a property, a house, right? So an ID has been given instead of an address, and the attributes of the house has been given, that this is about 2,000 square feet, this is the location of it, this many bedrooms it has, and whether it's a new or resale. So yes and no, 0, 1, gym, lift, car parking, maintenance, 24/7, children's, and so on and so forth. And the very end, the price that is there. Okay. Now, if I have to create something for the end user, what does a user look for? Let's say I go on all these retail websites like 99 acres is there, then Magic Brick is there, where you can go and look and search for houses, right? You can search for houses that, okay, I want to own it, or let's say I want to rent the house. So typically, how do we search for it? How do you search for a house? What are the parameters that you think about when you're searching for a house? The best area and the lowest price. So who decides the best area? Who decides the area and the price? How you decided this is the best area? Based on, is it something like, okay, if let's say I stay in Calcutta, is it based on demand? Okay, let's say if I live in Calcutta, right? Now the best area probably for Calcutta would be Alipur. But my kids go to in school in Park Street. My office is located in Park Street. Okay, my family, my extended family is near the the north side. Do you think I'll go and live in Alipur even though it is a posh area or a best area to live? Not really, right? So it's not the best area. So typically when you look for a property, you already have the area in mind, isn't it? You always, that's how, let's say if you have to buy a house, it's not going to be okay, whichever is the best area, show me houses over there. You will have to tell in which locality are you looking for, based on what are your constraints or what are your requirements. Based on that, you look in a specific location, right? So a person would be picking a location. What else? Is it just location and the price and I'm okay, now let me buy a house, or more things matter? More things like Pankaj? Room numbers, correct. The number of rooms do matter. Okay, how many number of rooms are going to be there? And the facilities I'm looking for, right? So let's say I have two kids. So I would want an area where there's an open area, where there's a play area for my kids to be there. Probably I would need a swimming pool so that they can go on the weekends in the swimming pool and enjoy the property as well. So I am going to look for the amenities, or I'm going to look for the facilities. Okay. So what I'm not saying this is the best possible representation of dashboard, but what I could think of was, okay, let's say I pick a location. I want to stay in Andheri West. Now in Andheri West, with all the amenities, how many properties are there? There are a lot of properties. And what I've done, I've sorted it from smallest to largest. So these are the IDs. These are giving me the number of bedrooms, and this is giving me the price of the property. And then I also have that, okay, in Andheri West, in various price ranges, right? In the various price ranges, how many houses are there? So the maximum number of houses that are there is in 2 double 000K range. So this is what maximum houses are in. Got it? So similarly, if I say, okay, let me cut down on the facility, I want a clubhouse, I want a gym, and I really, really want a swimming pool. So how many properties are there now? So I can see again, okay, these are the IDs, these are the number of bedrooms, and this is the price of the property. And this is again, 21 unique property is what are there in this price range. And I can say, okay, let's say I have a lower price range. So there are about 4 properties that are there. And what we can do is we can also put a filter over here and say, okay, this is the price range I'm looking for, and it filters down the properties. Okay, these are the IDs of the property where I can think about buying or investing in. Does it make sense to look at this dashboard, guys? Yes, no? How did we arrive at this? That is what we're going to work on. So typically, whenever we kind of create a dashboard, okay, I made a lot of spelling mistake. Apparently, I was trying to do it in hurry. So whenever we create a dashboard, first and foremost thing is that we have to think, for whom am I creating? Right? So I was thinking, okay, let's create a dashboard for the end user, a person like me who will kind of use this thing to identify the properties which are meeting my requirement. So it may be location based, it may be facility based, and will be price range based. And the number of bedrooms, and I can see how many are available, and I can pick and choose based on that. If we wanted, we could have put a filter of bedrooms also. All right, but the data set is not that large also, that if I put so many filters, I'll get probably 1 or 2 properties, especially with the locations. So that's why I did not put any filter. So first my thought process is, okay, if I am a consumer, so I always put myself in the stakeholder's shoe for whom I'm going to create it, and I question myself, okay, if I am the consumer, what are the things I would like to see? So based on that, I came up with this. I sketched it out on a piece of paper. And once that was done, then I tried to do replicate it in Power BI, in Tableau. Right? So how did we arrive at this? Let's start. All of us know what Tableau is meant for. What is visualization, and why visualization has become so important in these days? Why visualization is so important? Anyone? What is visualization? Why Tableau is so popular? Why Power BI is so popular? Data insights. Okay. So we are getting what? Data insights Excel used to also give us. So what is the difference between Tableau and Excel then? When you talk about insights, infographics, okay, easy, right? So I don't know how many of you have ever created a dashboard on Excel, but I belong to the era when these live dashboards and heat maps. So heat maps we have in Excel also. Live dashboards, yes, we can embed these things in the website and things like that. It generates dashboards quickly. That's correct. I belong to the era when we did not have these sophisticated Pankaj, that's a very good point that you've said. So, in my time, everything was Excel based. So, all the dashboards were Excel based. There were one or two softwares which were there, but they were very code intensive softwares. Okay. So, if you are okay in writing the code, then these softwares work for you. Otherwise, normally people would resort to, okay, no, Excel is better. It's something that everybody understands, it's easy. But as and when the data started coming in and our problem statement became complicated and a lot of interaction was required in order to find some insight into the data, Excel kind of became, I should not say redundant, but it does becomes kind of difficult. So it's not that I can't link filters on all the sheets. I can do everything that I can do on a Tableau, but not with standalone Excel. I'll have to do some kind of coding in the back end with VBA, and that takes time. So something that I would have created in Excel in 4 to 5 hours with the help of a code to give that kind of interaction level. Over here in Tableau, we are going to do it in 5 minutes or max to max 10 minutes. So that's a huge reduction in the time. Okay, now as an Excel user also, you have a very good command on Excel, and you should be very good in your coding, and then you can make this kind of stuff. So all the new softwares that are coming, I'm not just talking about visualization, any new software that we are looking at that is coming in analytics, people are pushing more and more towards no code softwares, where anyone who is coming from a non-data background and has a business and has a data to analyze can sit and analyze his or her own business data and get the analysis. Right. So what Pankaj was saying was it is for non-technical people, and that's absolutely correct. In the back end, there's a lot of coding. In the back end, there's a lot of SQL queries written. But now what they're doing is they're making it so easy that it's like a pick and drop. If I was when I was working on this dashboard, you wouldn't believe it, but my 8-year-old entered and I was working on this, and she's like, oh, such easy stuff. I don't know why you keep yourself so busy all the time. But I was just laughing looking at her reaction, that when I was just dragging, dropping, check marking, she's like, oh, this is so easy. So that how easy life has become. So what's a major difference between dashboarding and Excel and Tableau? So see, if you want to bring dashboards to the level of Tableau in Excel, we can do it. But we have to do a lot of backend work in order to get that. We have to know very good functions in Excel, very good command in Excel in order to create that kind of dashboard. So I think when it comes to where Excel fails versus Tableau is the various type of data that I can connect Tableau with and I can't connect Excel with easily. Data cleaning and prepping in Tableau is very smart, very fast, which is not there in Excel. And multiple database handling again is very good in Tableau versus Excel. And what else? And we have got analytical pane also in Tableau, which again helps us to like do things like very simple thing like clustering, forecasting, which is not that easy in Excel. In Tableau, it's a piece of cake, few seconds and you're done. So there's a huge difference in the time and the type of data and the quantity of data I can manipulate in Tableau versus Excel. Shushruti, does it make sense? Huge difference, huge difference in it. Because I can tell you very, to be honest, like I've worked on both. So I know the pain. Now, when I got introduced to these softwares and I was think like, why did I waste my time on Excel? But every time I think in future, if much more sophisticated tool works, I'm going to still wonder why was I spending time on Tableau. But till then, we are going to enjoy this software. So one of the very easy to understand softwares. All right, let's get started, guys. So once you open your Tableau workbook, let me do that from not from here, but and I'm going to keep this one in the backend open so that we know what is our aim, how we're going to reach this part. So, a couple of very important features I'm going to cover in this particular workshop. So, make sure that if you don't understand something, do let me know. I'll wait. I'll help you out. We can do screen sharing. It's not a very big group. We can easily do one-to-one helping out in the session. Okay. So, what is the format of the file that you received? You all have this file, right? All of you have this file? Everyone has a file. I think it was already emailed to you previously. Recorded sessions, yes, it's going to be on YouTube also. It's going YouTube live. So ideally, as soon as the session stops, it is already in YouTube. Okay, or everybody has a file. So can you tell me what is the format of the file? Like what kind of data set are we dealing with? What are we dealing with? Is it Excel? Is it Access? What kind of data is this? What is the extension that you see? I am going to do practically. That is why I am taking this session. I don't believe in pure theories at all. I think unless you don't get your hands dirty, everything looks beautiful and easy outside till you get your hands dirty. So, yes, that's the reason I'm asking you that do you have the file? Does everybody have the file? Because you guys are going to create this dashboard today. No. All right. So, let me quickly send you this file. Which file? The one Mumbai, this one, Mumbai file. It should have, this was a file that was sent to you, I think. It's not Excel file. It's not an Excel file. What is the file format, guys? Where is download? Okay. This PC. Okay, here you go, downloads. And sorry, little clumsy today. This one, the spelling. Oh, this is okay. It's okay if you got it. I was trying to experiment something, so this is not the file which I've sent. This is the file. Okay, so it's a CSV file. Okay, .csv. Everybody in chat window, do you have the file now? Mumbai in the bracket one is given .csv. Everybody has a file. Yes. Saurav, you got the file? You don't have to convert to Excel. Saurav, are you looking at the chat window? I just sent the file 2 messages up. Now can you see it, Saurav? It's just 2 messages from your no. It's in the chat window. So if you scroll the chat window, you should be able to see a .csv file. Received it? You looking at the chat, right? Now look at the chat again. Again, I sent it. Now can you see it? Everyone can see the file? Not at all. Guys, can you see the file or not in the chat? Saurabh, how are you not able to see when everybody is able to see? I've sent it in the chat, the Zoom chat. And your message is just below my file. Everybody can see I'm also in Zoom chat. You must be on your phone. Are you on phone? I'm sure that's the problem. That's the problem. You can't receive files on the phone. So you have to log in on your laptop. So see, ideally you should be on the laptop if you're going to work with this software. So I cannot send it to you because you're on your phone and you would not be able to open it. And I don't know. You can't work on a Tableau then. All right. So probably ask for it a little later and look at the video and try to do it. You don't have to convert it. Okay, so this is a text file. So what we are going to do, we are going to click on the text file. So there are a variety of files that Tableau works with. So it's not necessary everything has to be in Excel. A lot of time you will get data sets which is beyond what Excel can hold. Excel can't even show you those things. So these are the various type of files. This is Tableau public software that we are using. So it has its own limitation. License versions obviously have many more connection files that you can do. So we're going to click on the text file and go ahead and pick up this file. So once you pick this file, this is the area which we call as a data source. What is a data source? It is just giving you the view of the table that you have, and it kind of goes ahead and identifies, okay, this is ID, this is area, location. It gives you all the headers over here. All right. Now, Downloads has a Microsoft Edge. That I don't know. It's a CSV file. It was the same file should have been used yesterday also. I'm sure you guys have looked at this file before. All right. Since there's a constraint of time, I'm going to move on a little bit. So what I had done, if you look over here, all these things as resale, gym, lift, parking, maintenance, 24/7, these are all given in different columns, right? All of them are in different columns. Now, the problem with being in different column is, if you look at the dashboard that I created, I have it as one header called facilities and everything is under one facility. And in the table that you have, they are different columns, right? So my first task would be, since I'm talking about the facilities, I don't want the facilities to be floating everywhere and one by one I'm pulling them. I want them to be in one place. So what I did, I picked from the new resale and press the shift button, go towards the end of, slide right, and go and select till swimming. Can everybody do this? From new to swimming, using a shift key, select the first one, go towards right, select the swimming. You will see all of them, it gets selected. Then we'll go to the drop down and click on something called pivot. Please do it with me. So what pivoting does while you guys are doing it, what pivoting basically does, it converts the column into a multiple column into a single column, and whatever the other values it will put right in front of it. So once I converted into pivot, you saw everything vanished, right? It just kept it converted into two columns. One is pivot field, one is the value of it. So what I did, I double clicked over here and called it as facility. And you can double click over here and talk about, I have put the word availability. Why I put availability? Because one would say yes, it's available, zero would say no, it's not available. Done, guys? What to select? So select from new resale all the way to the last column, which is swimming. And how you can do it? By pressing the shift key. Select first one, press the shift key, go towards end, go till swimming, and over here you will get, I don't have it anymore. I have got to remove pivot. You will have the word pivot. So click on pivot and it will convert into these two columns. Kaushik, done. Arumoy, Savan, Megha, Pearl, Shri Janani, Tiasa, Vaibhav. Done. So, okay, Control Z. Once again, guys, but okay. All right, this is how it was. Select new and resale, press the shift key, go towards the very end, press the swimming. So you will see all has been great, means all has been selected. Click on the drop down and click on pivot. Done. And then just rename it. Double click on it and you can rename it. Now done, everyone. From where to download Tableau? Sort of. You got emails from us or no? You will not be able to download Tableau right now and do the work then. I would strongly suggest just attend this thing right now and, go back. The links are in the email. Look at the links, download Tableau Public and redo it. Right now, you will not be able to download and do all this thing. All right. So, okay. Done, guys. I've got one done. Pankaj, are we done? No. What is the problem you're facing, Pankaj? Are you facing any problem I can help you with? Vaibhav, done. Shushriti, done. Pearl, Savan, Maitri, anyone? Preetam. No, I just taught you, right? Select 1 second. Can you share your screen? Why can't we export from Excel? You can, but you have to understand not all the data you'll first put in Excel and then bring it from Excel, right? So you should have the habit of working directly with whatever data sets you have. It's not that you can't. We can connect with Excel, but that cannot be one intermediate step that we add to our data sets. Can you share your screen, Pankaj? I can't share the screen. Then I'm sorry, how will I help? You're also doing from phone. But host, okay, host disabled. Hold on. That I can enable. Stop sharing. Advance. All right. Now you try. Pankaj, try it. Perfect. It's showing up. All right. Just click. Hold on. Request remote control. Just give me a control of your screen once. Okay. So one I'm going to do.
Speak once, Devjyoti here.
Yes. What happened?
Yeah, the thing is, in your mail itself, the data that is there in the mail itself, it says click here to download housing data set.
Okay.
Now, when you download it, it downloads as I mean, it's written CSV, but it downloads as an Excel only. I mean, once I
it's not Excel. It's not Excel. It shows like Excel, but it's not Excel. CSV files resemble a lot like the icon of Excel.
That is the one which I have saved as sacrosanct. Now, when I'm trying to open it through my Tableau, now when I'm trying to open it through Tableau, two files. If I go to Microsoft Excel, it doesn't help. So, which one should I pick out here?
Text file.
Okay, that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So Pankaj, so you have all these locations, right? So from sales, then I asked you to press shift. Then I asked you to go right. Right from the bottom, you can scroll. And once you go right, where you see swimming pool, we are going to click here. So you see how everything got selected, right? And now we will go ahead and click on, where is this guy? Okay, hold on, we're going to do it again. So resale, everything got selected. Going to click on this drop down, and you see pivot. Understood, Pankaj? So once I click on pivot, now it's going to convert into two columns, the field name and the value. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Okay. So once we have got this thing, what I did, I went ahead and created a few sheets. Like I created a sheet where I had the ID, I had the number of bedrooms, and I had the property price. Now, what happens as the result of pivoting? I'll just explain it to you because you will be seeing it again and again that I'm converting a sum into an average. Now, there was only one occurrence of this ID 773569 without pivoting, right? Because each and every row was representing one house. Now, when you pivot, what happened? Each column is placed in this column. So this was one single row which had 24/7 car parking, children's, but I've put inside a column. So because of which the ID, the area, the location, the number of bedrooms, the price, everything has been repeating. Okay, and 1 and 0 is coming in front of it depending in this particular ID whether the 24/7 security was 1 or 0. Is it clear how pivoting is happening? So instead of having one row of this ID, now I have multiple occurrences of this ID. Okay, so now when this part is clear, now what I want to go to sheet. Now what is a sheet? Sheet is the area where we create our visualizations or where we create our tables. Okay, now the way Tableau works, it only allows you to put one visualization in one part. It does not want to crowd it. This is not a dashboard. This is just for one particular visualization or chart that you want to create. This is what sheet does. So what do I want? I want IDs. So I double click. It has put IDs. I want the number of bedrooms. So there you go. And I want the price. There you go. Anything odd about it? What is odd about it? The order. Order is not odd. Anything else which is odd? No, that's not the odd thing. Anything else? What about the number of bedrooms? A house with 42 bedrooms and 28 bedrooms. Are we looking for something like this, or do we have data that looks like this? We don't. So what Tableau has done, Tableau has put this value and has done a sum function on it. Now I told you the problem with pivoting is that increases the occurrence of few columns for me. So what it did with each occurrence of it, so this property, for example, 773569 had only one bedroom. Okay, but with every occurrence of this, when I put an ID, it has done 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus, and hence the number of bedrooms for each one is little higher than it is normally for that particular property. I am not host. What does that mean? So now what I have to do, by default, the number of value is sum. And I have to convert the sum into an average. So I'll click over here where it shows me sum of number of bedrooms and sum of the price. I'm going to click over here and convert this into an average. Okay, now it's coming proper. And I'm going to click on the price, and the same reason I'm going to convert this into an average. Right now, number of average number of bedroom and average price looks bad. So I will right click on it and I will click and edit alias. Alias is the name that you are giving, which is not the actual name of the column. So I'm putting this as the property price. Right? And I'm going to put this as number of bedrooms or bedroom count, anything. Okay. So far, so good. But every property has a unique identifier. Yes, but it is getting repeated. I hope you understood that, because I emphasize on that part that it gets repeated. Price is going to change. You have to do an average on both, not only just bedroom. The price also has to be done average, because that is also getting added multiple times. We are not doing any shape curve, bell shape and all. I don't know why we're talking about a bell shape curve. I'm not doing anything. I'm not plotting anything to get any kind of curve over here. Okay, done. Now this sheet is ready for us. Now I want the properties. For insights, we need an average, right? It's not just for insights. Yeah, I don't know. See, this ID is repeating. So this price is getting added multiple times. So is that the actual price? If I add this price 10 times, is that the price of the property, or is it 4850? It is this one, right? So if it was added 10 times and if I find an average, it will again come back to 4850, isn't it? I hope that is clear, Debu Jyoti.
And the thing is, I mean, there is a operational, how the software is calculating. In that instance, the same kind of problem happens in Excel also.
What is happening in Excel?
I mean, in Excel also, it will end up adding only. I mean,
if you put in a pivot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an operational bottleneck. That is how the softwares are designed. By default, they do a certain aggregation by default, and that's a sum function in most of the softwares.
That's why I guess we need to. Yeah. Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. So that's what we're doing over here. So if this is clear to you guys, everyone done till this part. So we have created this sheet. Now what I did was I put the facility. If you click over here.
The only thing is in terms of, I mean, you are saying that, I mean, it will bring down the hard work, but the software in some cases is a moron. I mean, sorry.
I did not understand.
I mean, in some cases, the software, I mean, it can't challenge the human brain, I guess. In some instances, it will make the same errors, no matter it is in Excel or it is in Tableau.
It's not an error, Debu Jyoti. I don't know why you're calling it an error. It's not an error. It's because the way we manipulated the data, it is coming incorrect. But if I did not manipulate the data, it would not have come incorrect, right? So I am making the errors, not the softwares. Okay, it's just because of the manipulation that part had to be done to make it average. Otherwise, it was not required. All right.
Did you go through that book called The Physics of God?
No, I don't, and I don't have time. Sorry, I'm going to move on. I just had 20 minutes and I'm not even close to the dashboard. I'm so sorry about this. Okay. So I'm going to move on.
I'll send you the link.
All right. So there is ID, there is a bedroom count, and there is a property price that we have. Okay. Now let's move on, guys. So what I wanted to do, if you look over here in my dashboard, I have got a filter for location and I've got filter for the facility. So how did I get these? Let's go back. So this is a filter area. So anytime you want to put a filter of something, you're going to drop the field over here. These are the field. So I'm going to bring location, drop in the filter. I want all the locations and I click OK. Then I want the facilities to be there. Drop in this area. I want all the facilities and OK. Okay. Now in this case, everything is put over here, but you can't see anything on the right hand side like I have in my dashboard. So what do we do? With every field that you've dropped, we will right click and click on show filter. Okay, can you do till this part? Then I'll proceed. Okay. So now what is happening? The number of locations is too large, right? So imagine this is like a little inconvenient for the end user to scroll through so many lists. So what we are going to do, and I want a person to be able to pick one list at a time. So what we will do is we are going to click on this drop down and you see we have choices over here as a how we want a list. We want a single value list, which looks like this. So single value list does what? It only allows you to pick one value at a time. Or I can do single value drop down. So that's what I had picked in my visualization, a single value drop down. And typically we'll first pick the location and then we'll pick the facility. So I just dragged it up and pushed it on the top. Clear? For the facility, I've left everything. Okay. So I've select for this, I'm giving multi-value because I do not want just one facility, right? I would have couple of facilities in my mind that I have to pick. I'm depending on what I'm picking over here, I will get the respective ID. So again, going back, if I want to go to, let's say, Andheri West, I have all these properties with which has car parking, gymnasium, lift in, new resale, and let's say swimming pool, and I've got indoor games and so on and so forth. Okay, so our first part is ready. Now let's move on to the other part. Okay. The second part of it was, so we've got these three things ready, 1, 2, 3. Now we want this part. Now what I've done over here, I just wanted to understand, okay, if I pick a location, what are the typical price range? Is it that I'm picking a location where probably my affordability is not there? Or let's say if I say I want to only spend 4 CR on a house, right? But in that location, everything pretty much starts from 6 CR. So when I create something like this, I get a good understanding, okay, the price point that I'm looking for, does it even fit in these properties or it doesn't? Like if I go very low, if I, let's say, pick I don't know Bombay, to be honest. If I Arkuli Nagar, let's say there's only one property which is of this amount, but this amount may be very high for me. So I might want to think about, okay, what is the closest, what is the other locations that I can think about? Okay. So depending on this, that's why I have created this particular chart over here. Okay. So let's see how we're going to create this chart. What I have done is I have put these as these are the prices of the all the listings that we have. And instead of pricing each and every one because it will look very bad, what I've done is I've given it as a group. So from this range to this range to this range to this range, and that's created everything. So how do we do it? Now, what did we put? So this one is my price sheet. And I'm going to go over here and I'll put this as a price range sheet. Okay. Now, what did I do? I converted price into smaller, what we call in Tableau is bins. I've converted into bins. So how do you convert it into bins? You're going to click on drop down and you will say convert a create. And from create, we will say we want to create bins. So once you click on bins, this will be price bin. And what is the size of the bin? So what does the size mean? You can see over here, the minimum is 20 lakhs. The maximum is this amount, right? So from 20 to this, how do you want to divide the entire range? So what I did was I said, okay, let's divide it into range of 20 lakhs. Okay, so 21 to 1, 2, 3. I think that's correct. So I'm saying I'm going to divide from the minimum to the maximum with this bin size and clicked OK. Now, as soon as I created it, a bin price bin has been created. So once I click on the price bin, this is there. And now I want to put the number of properties which are there. So when I double click on ID, what it does, since ID is also a text, it is going to try and put it right in front of the prices. So it's working. And I don't want them to be IDs coming up. So this is telling me in this price bin, these are the IDs. But I don't want to look at the ID numbers. I want the count of it. So again, what we're going to do, we're going to change the measure. So on ID, I'll go to measure and say I want a count of it and distinct count of it. So when I put on distinct count and this kind of thing got created, now I'm going to go to show me to click on this bar chart and then I inverted the chart. So how do you invert the chart? You see the symbol between map and format, the symbol, this inverts it. So once I click, it got inverted. So that's how I got my second visualization. Okay, try this thing if you're able to get the second visualization. All right. So Pankaj, where are you stuck? You're on which step? Price bin. So what we we went to the price. We said, I want to create a bin. Till this part, you know how to come? Okay. So once I said this, go to create and go to bin. Then I put the size of the bin as 20 lakhs. Clear? This is how I put it. 2 with 6 zeros. This is also done. Once this is done, you will see something called price bin got created. Pankaj, can you see it? Price bin. Yeah. So double click on it to drop it. Then double click on ID. Okay. And when you double click on the ID and the price bin, this is something like this will pop up. Right. So we are going to click on the ID and we will say, I want it to, since it's a text, so what it is doing, it is not doing aggregation on it, but I want an aggregation on it. So I'm saying do a count distinct. And then just click on show me and click on this particular visualization. And then I just inverted it. Are you done till this part, Pankaj? What about others? Tiasa, Sri Janani, Kaushik, Arunmoy, Maitri. After count distinct, this is what you go to show me. This is show me on the right side. Click on it and click on the bar chart. Okay. And then we just inverted it. Done? Pankaj, done? Okay. So now our main charts are ready. Not right now. So our main charts are ready and we are going to go to the dashboard part. So once you click on the dashboard, this is the symbol for the dashboard. So once you click on it, you will get to this particular part of it. So there was data source in which we worked, then we worked on the sheets, and now we're going to work on the dashboard. Okay. Things that I had on the dashboard is, for example, show the dashboard title. So I clicked here. I can double click and put the name, right? And then I started to drop these visualizations over here. So for dropping, I'm going to first convert it into floating. What floating does is it drops and then I can adjust where and how I want to put it. So I'm going to drop in floating. What I want the price sheet to be there. Now you drag and you drop in this area, right? Now when I dragged and dropped in this area, everything came. The two filters came and this sheet came. And it's just about formatting this area now. Okay. So first of all, I need a little bit width on my dashboard. How do we get that? We're going to go to size and I'm going to increase the width of the dashboard so that all of them fit together properly. And I'm going to shift these guys on the left hand side. Or we can also put them on the top. This definitely needs to move left. Hold on, need to move this. And now need to move this. Squeeze it in a little. Doesn't have to be that big. Squeeze this also a little bit inside. I think layout is something that you guys can play around a little later. And right now, let's just focus on completing this dashboard over here. Okay. So far, so good. And now I'm going to get the second one also. I'm going to place it over here. Squeeze this a little bit in. Okay. Let's get the other one. So same thing. What you need to do is click on the visualization and drag it on this side. Right? And this visualization is also complete. Now, how did we connect these filters with this visualization? Because originally these filters, if you check, if I put 24/7 or something like this, only this, table is updating, not this one. So what we can do is when you click on top of these filters, we get something like apply to worksheets using this data source. So all the worksheets that are using the data source, this filter gets applied. Same thing over here. Click on the filter and format, where is it? Apply to worksheets, all using this data source. Once this is done, then we are good to go. So once we click on a particular location, both my table and my chart changes. Let me know when you're done till this part. And then one last thing is left and we are done. Very it's a very simple dashboard if you think about the design part of it, but it is functionality wise, it's a strong dashboard from where we started in the raw data set versus what we have achieved over here. Let me know when you're done. Pankaj is done. What about others? Kaushik, Arumoy, Devujyoti, Maitri, Mayank, Megha, Pearl, Srijanani, Shushriti, Kanuka, Vaibhav, Sandeep. Okay, I've got 2 dones. Shushriti done. Three dones. Four. That's okay. You have the videos, so you can do it. Okay. Now the last part is that remember what I did was, okay, I said, okay, these are the number of properties in Andheri East which has the facilities. Let's say I want the car parking and I want the indoor games. These are my 2 main requirements. So this is coming up. So now if I wanted to understand, okay, what are the ones that are falling in my price range? So these 4 properties are the ones which are falling in my price range. So how did I do this? That when I clicked on it, only the 4 properties which matched came up. Right now it's not coming up. So what you have to do is select the visualization that you have, and you see the filter symbol on the right side. So you need to click on it. So what it does is it converts this as a filter to the other visualizations on your dashboard. Shujanani, hold on, I'll answer that question, right? So over here, we have put the filter, and now if I click on any of the column, it converts this into, okay, these are the IDs, these are the number of bedrooms, this is a property. Now, depending on which is meeting my criteria, I can identify, okay, this ID is what I require. Or if, depending on, what you are clicking as your price range, you are getting the value. Okay, so we have completed our dashboard. Let me know if you have any questions. So Shushruti, what we did, if you click on this visualization of price range on the right, you have remove, go to sheet, and the third one is use as filters. So click on that. So each element of this visualization now act as a filter on other visualizations. Okay, now sometimes while working with the table that needs to be reconstructed before analysis, we need to use SQL. Would you like an insight on this? Yes. So a lot of time, see, it's what SQL does. SQL really doesn't do reconstruction, I would say. SQL is more of extraction of the data that I require. So when you think about from the client side, they would give you all the data and a business problem. Now I cannot pick all the data in my softwares. It's not that the softwares will not like it, but it puts a lot of pressure on processing and it becomes very slow. So a lot of time you will see people using SQL to get the required data set. So if it's a very, if there are multiple databases that were given to us and the output that we require is a little complicated, then we we are going to run SQL queries on top of it and get the required table. Once you get the required table, then we give it to tools like Power BI, Tableau, or we are going to give it in Python or R. Simple language journal English query, is it SQL? SQL is structured query language. Okay, that is.
Yesterday, Pratik sir was showing us. This is Devjyoti, by the way. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Thanks. The thing is, Pratik sir was showing us that we were able to write some queries in pretty much general English and it did not require any coding. Was that SQL? Because
That is SQL only. See, SQL is not a hardcore big programming language. It's a very simple programming language, but very essential one at the same time.
very good for non-technicals. I mean, for some
No, it's just
for
it is a
background.
boot camp in which you don't really get exposed to the depth of the tools, right? It's just a general exposure to the tools.
Somebody, I mean, somebody who's a MBA finance, somebody who's a chartered accountant, for him to learn Python would be a very, I mean, uphill task.
No, it is not. See, anything which is in analytics right now, except if you go in the big data or data engineering or, all these Spark, Hadoop, Scala, Kafka, all these, I would say yes. A person who is little afraid of technical stuff like coding should not get into it. But other than that, data science is nothing which I can say, okay, a coder or a non-coder is the best possible profile for it. I know a lot of people who are non-coders who do not know even a single line of code in their life. They're not written, but they're comfortably working on Python and R.
How are they managing it? I mean,
Because it
I
is
have
a
worked on
language.
what I have worked on while working in ICRA. I used to have to read up the scripts of ASP.NET. ASP.NET was a
Those
language.
are tough.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever it is, I mean, from there to, I mean, we really had to, I mean, it was a serious, I mean, the skill set we had to manage over 6 months period. We had the training only for 6 months.
Yeah.
Over that period, we had to understand the script.
So
Understand
the reason why Python is popular is because of its easy usage in different industries. So Python is not just used by programmers, it's being used by data scientists, analysts, it's being used by animators also. So if it is a language that has been created with such a ease that people are able to pick it up.
About it. I mean, the rest of it, when I see the results of it, I like the look of it in Tableau Workbook. So there is another Power BI. I've heard of it. I've also gone through a few of the videos, but actually, the thing is, it's about the practice. I mean, the more you practice, the more.
Yeah, so the boot camps are basically meant for giving exposure to what these tools are capable of and how we
For
work.
having, I mean, that I know. I mean, you people are working for the last at least 10 years or 15 years back. I attended your first class. So I mean, you are the best in at least in Kolkata, if not in India. So for you to arrange a free boot camp, that's hats off to you guys.
Thank you, Devajyoti. All right, guys. So we have reached the time. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you understood that how easy this Tableau software is versus any other tool that you must have used for this kind of work, which is visualization and dashboarding. And there's a lot of interesting things in these softwares. Power BI again has its own pros and cons in which you will enjoy Power BI, in which you will like, oh, I hate this particular tool. So every tool has that kind of a thing. But I hope you enjoyed this session. Tomorrow on the same data set, one of our trainers will be working with Python. So if I will get bootcamp certificate after completing tomorrow's session, yes. So you get the certificates only if you complete all the 3 sessions. Okay, and it takes about a week for the certificate to get issued. All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And I hope you have a good night and
Thank
we'll
you
see
very
you
much.
tomorrow. Thank you. Take care.
Good day.
Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.